What's going on, my dummies, and welcome back to another Behind the Firewall. In today's episode, we will be going over a card I'm super hypo about, Tactimon. So let's get into it. Tactimon is a 12 to play, normally 3 to evolve on top of a level 5, 11k body, which has a very interesting effect for purple. He says, activate one of the following effects. If you have no other Digimon active, then... If you have no other Digimon, activate all of them instead. Sorry, I don't know why I said active there. So the first one is gain 1 memory, which is a pretty big deal. Second one is get plus 2k, which makes him a 13k body, which is pretty high on the list of things you want. The last thing is delete 3 of your opponent's level 3s. This is really good against Rookie Rush in and on itself. So this card in particularly gets me excited. For one reason and one reason alone, this allows us to play more of a Control-S deck where we have more option cards than we do actual Digimon cards. And I've been trying to make this kind of work in a way, so hopefully with Battle of Omega, maybe they'll give us some more option cards or some more cards that work around Tactimon and trying to only keep one Digimon on the field at one time. Give us some protection, that sort of thing. But let's get started over the cards that I do want to talk about, and then some honorable mentions after this. So the first thing is Tactimon. So Tactimon's here, not because of Tactimon, but it's because of Black War Grauman, which I'll get to in a minute. But just know Tactimon allows us to accelerate how this deck works and keep our card advantage. Moving forward, we have Black Grauman. During our turn, once per turn, when another Digimon is deleted, he gets security attack +1. So if we delete something, Tactimon is going to gain all of his abilities as long as he's by himself. Next up, we have Black War Grauman. He's got Digiburst 2, play 1 level 3 purple from our trash without paying its cost. So we get rid of our Digitama and we get rid of our Rookie, and now we're able to get back a level 3, which is normally going to be Tactimon. His other attack is, when attacking once per turn, you can delete one of your other Digimon to unsuspend this Digimon. So basically, we can attack with Black War Grauman. We can... Not Black War Grauman, we can attack with Tactimon, trigger Black War Grauman, and then have Tactimons on the stack. We can sacrifice the one level 3 that we have that we got back with Black War Grauman's effect. So let's say it's Tactimon. We sacrifice it to unsuspend Tactimon. Tactimon gains all 3 of his abilities because he sees that he's the only one on the battlefield at one time. Plus, if we have a War Grauman up under it, he gains security attack +1. So he's a 13k body, hitting for 2, destroying 3 of our opponent's level 3s, gaining a memory in the process, drawing a card because of Tactimon, and he's going to do it again, minus the draw card right afterwards. Because one thing that's really cool about him, he is not once per turn. He's just whenever he attacks. So, like, if we're able to unsuspend him multiple times, he's going to keep punching, gaining the memory, gaining the power, deleting a level 3 Digimon. So super powerful. When I seen that, I was like, I've got to do this. Another option, if you wanted to play 5s with him, you could play War Grauman as well. So that's 2 Digimon that have the same unsuspend clause, which, again, will read the fact that he doesn't have anything after you sacrificed it. So, with that being said, we're able to unsuspend him and gain all 3 of those abilities to keep swinging. The other thing to note is I wanted to play this more of a Control-S deck. So Darkness Claw is one of those cards that people kind of sleep on, in my opinion. Its security effect is get 2 memory, which is pretty cool, but if it's in your hand for 1 memory, we can get plus 3,000 power. So 1 memory, we're gaining 3,000 power, which puts him at a 16k body, and there is nothing in the game that has 16k for DP. So because of that, he doesn't crash with anything in security, and 9 times out of 10, he's killing whatever he's attacking into in the first place. So Darkness Claw is one of those cards, like, we're gaining enough memory. Another card we can look at, if you wanted to, is Guilmon with Tapirmon, because this allows us to gain a memory. So we could get the memory back from Darkness Claw. And it's not like it's like 2 or 3 memory. That would be bad, right? But the 3000 allows us to get over that power level to be able to make sure we're not crashing and dying to anything. The only thing that hurts us at that point is any kind of option card that gets turned over. So if we get Gaia Force, yeah, it feels bad. But other than that, it's pretty decent. Moving forward, Hell's Gate is another card I wanted to talk about. Hell's Gate destroys one of our opponent's level 6 or higher Digimon. With set 5 coming out, there's a lot of emphasis on playing level 6s and playing level 7s. We have Rafalsimon, we have Omnimon Zord, we have the new Omnimon, we have the old Omnimon that is more than likely going to be playable in the same deck as the red-blue Omnimon deck. We have Chaosmon, which is a huge threat. There's War Grauman, there's Nihogmon, so there's a bunch of different things that we can do with this. The only difference that makes Hell's Gate worse than Trump Sword is the fact that it, in its security effect, does not activate the main effect. It only adds it to our hand, which is always really bad. We normally don't want that, but it's still a plus for us. It allows us to get rid of the big threats because we're mainly focused on our stuff. So we give them the advantage by thinking they're okay, and then we Hell's Gate them, and then they have to come back. And that's normally really fun. Like, for example, if we don't even worry about them, we swing at their security, we hit their security twice, and pass the turn playing a level 3 or playing Mimi, something. Just pass the turn giving little memory. They have to destroy him because they know we're going to do it again. We're going to activate ourselves, swing for game. So if they do play the Omnimon or they play the Zord to get black blockers, etc., like the Hell's Gate destroys it with the memory they gave us. So we just basically turn cycle them, which is always a really good thing. So if they do destroy us, we can destroy them and put everything at a separate clock with them having little memory to give us a lot of memory in the long term. Just food for thought. I do really like this card in the new metagame over Trump Sword, because Trump Sword only hits active things, and as of right now, Blitz exists, so it's really hard for us to want to have Trump Sword in the deck. Next up, we have Deathclaw. Nothing really too exciting here, but one important thing is it's a 1 cost that basically reads delete one of our Digimon to delete a blocker, as long as you're not playing black blockers, because you know, Andromon or War Grauman Black, etc. We're able to delete blockers that aren't in the black deck, or all blockers that are not in the black deck so far, and get them out of our way. The security effect also deletes it without paying the cost. But we don't have to delete one of our things in the security effect. So this allows us to open up a pathway for us to swing with Tactimon, because we deleted the Digimon that's already on the field that we played. We're able to delete it and swing again kind of thing. So it's one of those things, like getting rid of the blocker allows us to do what we need to do. And this is more, I guess, instead of control, it's more kind of mid-rangey, but it still gets our opponent off guard because they don't expect these cards to be played. But moving forward, finally we have Mimi, the purple Mimi from BT3. 2 costs to play, both players' turn. If you or your opponent plays an option card, by resting this card, gain 1 memory. This can cut off our opponent from playing option cards, but at the same time, we can gain advantage if we're playing a mirror match that's playing a lot of option cards, for example, like a Lilithmon deck, or let's say that this idea does take off. We're able to use the Mimi against them to gain memory and keep them from gaining memory, which is always a plus. Also, on top of that, we're able to play stuff like Darkness Claw and Deathclaw for free. We're not paying memory for it because we're resting her to do it, and that allows us to get a little bit farther ahead, if that makes sense. Another thing I wanted to say about this, if you do go this route where you're playing these level 3s to delete themselves, yeah, it's this one. Pretty sure it's this one. Yeah. Demi-Meramon is probably one of the best things to play because it allows us to cantrip ourselves to get rid of cards we don't need to get to the cards we do need as a Digitama. I wouldn't play Zalmon, even though he can give Retaliate. We're not really worried about it. At the same time, too, other than War Grauman, like these two are cards you want to play, but you can also play Chimeramon to destroy your own thing to gain card advantage, to delete your opponent's Digimon, and then go straight into Tactimon afterwards. So if you don't know what Chimeramon is, you're probably living under a rock, sorry. But I'll show you anyways. This is Chimeramon. You delete one of your things to delete one of your opponent's level 5 or less Digimon. But that is the overall gist of what I think this card is capable of. I really do think this card has a lot of potential. I don't know if anybody's really talked about it. I haven't seen anybody talk about it on the Facebook page, but I do think this is a very powerful Digimon. But if you enjoyed this video, leave a like. Put a comment down below if you think of something that I didn't think of. You can put down in the comments below to let everybody know themselves. Also, so hit that subscribe button. A lot of you that watch my videos are not subscribed, and I love you guys. I really do love you guys. And every subscription helps this channel. The more the subscriptions come from these videos, the more these videos get pushed out. But until next time, guys, have a blessed one.